Hello everyone, and welcome to my first podcast for Roe Valley Christian Radio. I hope that you've had a really good Christmas. I know that this has been a different and difficult year. Many of us have had very different challenges to face. I wonder, have you been feeling lonely or isolated at this stage because of lockdown and not being able to get out and speak to people? Maybe you're pensive about your job situation for next year, given the fact that there's going to be so much more unemployment. And I know that many of you run businesses and you're worried about the viability of your business in the long term. Indeed, many of you have probably taken on extra debt just to keep them going at this stage, and you're worried about how you're going to start repaying that next year. So I know there's a lot of anxiety out there. I work in the bank and I speak to people every day, and I know the challenges that they face in the business life. And they are very uncomfortable about next year, I have to say. So people are probably looking to us as Christians and saying, what does the Bible have to say that will give us any sort of hope or encouragement for next year? And right at the outset, I want to say categorically that the Bible does have many verses that can encourage us for next year. And the one that I want to pick today, just very briefly for my thought for the day, is to be found in Psalms. And actually, it's a well-known phrase which I didn't realise was in the Bible until a couple of years ago when I came across it when I was flicking through my daily readings. And it's to be found in Psalm 17, verse 8, where David is speaking to the Lord. And David's obviously at a time where he's encountering fear and some anxiety himself, where he says, "Keep me as the apple of your eye, hide me under the shadow of your wings." And there you have it. The phrase that I want to look at today is just "keep me as the apple of your eye." David obviously knew that he was special to God, because I want you to take note that he says, "Keep me as the apple of your eye." It wasn't "make me as the apple of your eye." He knew that he had that special relationship with God, so he could take comfort in that. But he also wanted to get under the shadow of God's wings, because he knew that was where he could get protection. And the closer he got to God, the more protected he would feel. And that's where we need to get to next year, where we as Christians can take our burdens to the Lord and cast them to him. It's right and proper, that we put as many protections in place for ourselves that we can, that we take as many precautions as we can. But at the end of the day, all we can do is take it to the Lord and ask him to take care of things for us, because no amount of fretting or worrying is going to improve things for us. So just take things to God in prayer and leave them there. God's described in many different ways. And at this time, whenever we look forward to next year and the challenges that we have, some of the adjectives that I would look to describe God as would be in terms of being a comforter, a protector, a defender. And these are things that we find in God all the time. If you're called the apple of God's eye, then you're special. It means that you're loved. It means that someone takes delight in you. And that's exactly the relationship that God has with you. I'm sure you've been the apple of someone's eye in your time. Maybe you still are. And it means that you have been special and loved by someone else. We also find this phrase in Deuteronomy. And if we go forward to Deuteronomy chapter 32, we find Moses saying in verse 10, "He found him in a desert land, and in the wasteland a howling wilderness. He encircled him, he instructed him, he kept him as the apple of his eye." And the phrase I like to look upon there is "he encircled him." If you can picture in your mind just God pulling all the wagons round in a circle and keeping us safe from all the obstacles that come our way. And that's what we can expect from God when we take our cares to him. So that's my hope and encouragement for you for next year, that you will look to God, that you will believe that you are the apple of God's eye, that you are special to him, and that you can take comfort from him and strength from him. I do wish that you all have a very happy new year, and that you will remember that you are indeed special to God. Thank you.